Welcome to Garden Wise Adventures. My name is Malie, and today we're standing in front of one of my serviceberry bushes. This is a Regent serviceberry, and we're going to do a harvest and try preserving my serviceberries. I think I might make a jelly or a jam or something like that, and we'll see what happens when we get inside. So first, I wanted to tell you a little bit about serviceberries, and if you want to know more, you can watch the video that's linked above, because I've done several videos on serviceberries. But let's look at it closer and I'll tell you a little bit more about them. Now this is one of two of my bushes. This is one. And this is the other one. This is a Regent serviceberry, and they're only supposed to get about 4 feet wide and 6 feet tall. But this obviously has gotten closer to 10 feet tall, and it's about 6 to 8 feet wide. It's really happy in this spot. This spot's on the east side of my house. It gets part shade, sun quite a bit of the day though. This is 4 p.m. and it gets sun till about 3 p.m. And it gets moderate amounts of water. Right now I think it's getting watered about twice a week because of the lawn. It's right next to the lawn. They can take less water, but I think the amount of water this one has been getting has really made it happy. This one's a little smaller, but it's getting the same treatment. It's close to lawn and gets sun most of the day. Now this serviceberry's been a really heavy producer for me. Both of them have. They give me tons of berries, and they ripen over a long period of time. So as you can see, they're in various stages. We've got new little green ones right here. We've got some that are just starting to blush. We have the red ones, and then we have the fully ripe ones. The fully ripe ones are very dark, and especially if you look near the stem. Let's see if we can show you near the stem here. Okay, sorry, for video's sake we had to pull off a whole branch. But if you look near the stem, now it's focused, on these two, they are dark near the stem, and that means they're ripe. If you look near the stem on these other two, they're still a little bit red. They'll taste good, but they're not going to be as sweet as the ones that are dark all the way to the stem. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to find the darkest ones, like these right here, and we're going to harvest those and use those in our preserves. So let's get the harvesting. There's a few harvested in just a few minutes. Now I'm going to harvest the rest of them off camera. My camera's about ready to die. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about the flavor of these beautiful little berries. They, taste it and see. When they're perfectly ripe, they have a very sweet taste. There's a lot of seeds in them, but they're very tiny seeds, and the seeds have a little bit of an aftertaste of almond to them. It has, I wouldn't say a blueberry flavor. It's definitely not a blueberry flavor, but it is a little bit similar in that it has a tiny bit of tartness to it. So they are really, really good. So I'm going to turn off my camera and finish harvesting the rest, charge up the camera, and meet you inside to make some preserves. Welcome back. It's a few days later and we're back in my kitchen, stained fingers and all. And it's just time. I had to do something with the berries. I ran out of time. You know, this is my busiest time of year for my landscape design business, and I had to figure out a way to use these berries quickly. So I found a couple of different things that I'm going to do that doesn't require a lot of time and a lot of mess. I was thinking about doing some freezer jam and jelly, but the seeds in the serviceberries just are a little bit too much for me. So one thing that I did do, I dried about 5 trays full of them, and they're okay. They're a little bit sweet, but the overarching flavor is the almond flavor from the seeds with a little tiny bit of sweetness. So I'm not as much of a fan of them dried, but we're going to use what we have here, and I found a better way to use them. So what I did is I hauled out my Victorio Strainer. I don't know if any of you have ever used these. They're absolutely wonderful. What they do is they take the seeds, the skin, anything that is more than just the pulp. They take that out, filter it out, and all you have left is a really nice pulp. Now with that pulp you can make fruit leather, jams, jellies, whatever you would like. So let me show you how to use this Victorio Strainer and show you what the end result is. Now this is what the Victorio Strainer looks like. I've already used it for one batch. Deep inside there, there's a little turning mechanism. Puts it through a strainer. You put a bowl under this end, and this is all of the really dry kind of leftover stuff. And this is what came out. It's really thick, a little bit watery, but I don't think I really am going to need to do too much other than cook this down just a little bit to remove some of the liquid out of it. I'm not going to need to use pectin because it is pretty thick on its own. And the only thing that I use this for is flavoring yogurt and, you know, spreading on my no-grain bread. And if any of you have ever had no-grain bread, you'll know that why I don't eat it very often. But I think this is going to work out really well. It is really sweet. I might add a little bit of stevia because I can't have sugar. But if you wanted to, you could actually can this maybe like you would a blueberry jam. You know, use the blueberry recipe in the with the Sure-Gel pectin and make serviceberry jam, and that might be really good. You can also do it with the whole berries like this and just crush them up, but then you've got to deal with the seeds, the almond flavor, and all the skins. And I've tried using them that way, and it's not really pleasant for me. So I think I like this a lot better. So let me show you how to use the Victorio Strainer and show you how easy that is. Now the first thing we're going to do is pour the berries in. It's got a large bowl on top, so it holds quite a bit. Then we'll use this, your measuring cup, as the place where all of the extra goes out. We've got a plunger. We've got to push it all in and then turn. Let me tighten it a little bit. So we've just got a clamp underneath my counter that's holding it on. Let me show you what it looks like coming out. First thing that comes out is the juice, and then we'll start getting pulp coming out here in just a minute. Now this looks a little bit thicker, but it is still just pulp minus seeds, skin, stems, anything like that. Now I've used this Victorio Strainer for grape jelly, to get the seeds out of the grapes. I've used it for tomato sauce. I've used it to make applesauce that's really smooth, and it's worked really beautifully. So this is what it looks like. Seems to have a lot of pectin in it itself. It actually gelled a little bit. So this is what we have. Let's put it on the stove and see what happens. This is such a pretty color. I've simmered it for about 10 minutes and I'm ready to put it in the jars. Just thought I'd take a quick break and show you what's going on outside here. Just had a quick little microburst while I'm doing my jelly, and now we're having a nice little hailstorm. Pretty exciting. Poor little plants. I hope they're not shredded. Here we are finished with our serviceberry experiment. This is what 12 cups of raw serviceberries makes. I added a little bit, about a cup of sugar. I shouldn't have added sugar, but we added sugar and lemon juice, boiled it down, and then we're not going to can it. I'm going to put these in the freezer, and this is going to go into the refrigerator, and I will use it to sweeten my yogurt, so I don't care if it stays a little bit runny. But I would love to hear your recipes that you've used with your serviceberries. They're so good, and I would like to be using them more each year. I probably still have twice the amount of these serviceberries on the bushes. I love that they ripen in succession, so we can be harvesting them over a longer period of time. But anyway, if you like my videos, if this video has been helpful to you, please like and subscribe, share it with your friends, go use your serviceberries and share those recipes, and have a wonderful garden adventure.